This afternoon, the Senate voted to confirm Linda McMahon as Education Secretary. But even before she gets in the door, the department is already making moves, ordering colleges and universities to end diversity initiatives or risk losing federal funding. The demand stems from the Supreme Court banning the use of race in admissions in 2023. In a report for The Atlantic entitled "The Race-Blind College Admissions Era is Off to a Weird Start," writer Rose Horowitch says the impact has been mixed. So we asked her why for tonight's interview. Rose, I want to start with the headline of your story, which is that the race-blind college admissions era is off to a weird start. What makes it weird?
It is weird because prior to the Supreme Court ruling, almost everyone thought that universities would kind of see a big decline in their share of Black and Latino students, and at some places, certainly that's what's happening, but there are these really notable exceptions where they've actually seen an increase in Black and Latino students after the end of affirmative action. So that was just a really weird finding.
Right. Let's start with the ones that did drop. That was the story everybody was expecting, right?
Yes. So schools like MIT, they saw, I think, a 60% decline in their share of Black students compared to the years before the decision. Harvard, which was the school at the center of the litigation, also saw big changes. And so there were certainly a lot of schools that this did happen. Yeah.
Now to the more interesting part of the weirdness, which is those elite schools where there was not this fall off. What explains that?
So that's led to kind of these dueling theories. And one is that universities are able to maintain racial demographics without explicitly considering race. And the other is that they aren't following either the letter or the spirit of the Supreme Court ruling.
Now let's go to the possibility of cheating. And that is essentially, what's the argument and who's making it?
So the argument is that none of these other explanations fully explain how the universities got their results because they haven't been shown to get rid of legacy admissions or these donor preferences, and because they aren't allowed to just give advantages to say an African American student who writes about overcoming adversity. They would also have to give it to an Asian student who might write about that experience. So that argument is just that the universities kind of haven't explained how they've made up these numbers, even as they've been accused of cheating. And the people that are making it, I think the most well-known one is Edward Bloom, the leader of Students for Fair Admissions, which brought this case against Harvard. And he has written in letters to Yale, Princeton, and Duke, he's argued that they need to explain how they got their results, or else he will kind of have no other recourse.
And so, Rose, we have this weird disparity. It's only 1 year in.
Yes.
What are the experts, what are you looking for in the next couple of years that would give us a signal about which way this story is going?
Yes. Well, I think it was really interesting to watch, one, if these cases do make it to the court, where do they come down? I also think we're going to see these schools, they're under a lot of pressure kind of on both sides. Schools that saw big declines in, Black and Latino students are going to be under pressure to kind of make those up. And these schools that didn't see big declines, they might come under increased scrutiny from the federal government.